In recent NFL history, there's been two teams to finish the NFL regular season 0-16. That's the 2008 Detroit Lions and the 2017 Cleveland Browns. Yeah, each team might have went 0-16, but that doesn't mean they didn't have solid individual talent scattered throughout the team. So I thought, what if you combine those two teams with the current laughingstock of the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, into one mega team of three teams that hadn't compiled a win? Could all the individual talent from these winless teams combined into one team actually do some damage to the NFL? As this team needs Jesus. As today, dudes, in another Madden 20 scientific experiment, we're going to see if you combine the 2008 0-16 Detroit Lions, the 2017 0-16 Cleveland Browns, and the 2019 Miami Dolphins rosters all into one with the best players from those teams playing in one roster. If that team could run the table, make the playoffs, and maybe even get a Super Bowl ring. Now, hopefully, guys do enjoy today's video, and if you do, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes for today's experiment. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below what your prediction is for this team, and if you think this team actually has a chance to make the playoffs. Now, this is why I always tell you guys to leave your suggestions for future videos in the comment section, because thank you to this guy. This wasn't my idea, so thank you to my boy for suggesting this video idea, and also want to thank the Miami Dolphins organization for solely keeping my channel alive. So with that said, my dudes, most importantly, time to go over today's roster. Now, the team is actually not bad. An 82 overall, 84 offense, and an 81 defense. Extremely respectable. I mean, you would think three individual NFL teams combining their best players into one would be quite decent, but when you think about it being three absolutely atrocious teams, it's still surprising to me that they do have an 82 overall across the board. Now, the starting quarterback is going to be Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick at a 75 overall, and the backup quarterback is going to be the 08 Detroit Lions QB, Mr. Dan Orlovsky. Now, at the running back position, we have Kenyon Drake, another current Miami Dolphin, at a 79 overall, with Kevin Smith, a former Lion, the 0-16 Lions running back, at a 77 behind him, and Rudy Johnson, once again, another Detroit Lion on the 08 team, at a 75 at the running back core. Starting fullback is going to be Chandler Cox, 64 overall. Now, the wide receiver position, the most talented player on the entire team, 94 overall, Mr. Calvin Johnson. And I find it absolutely insane that Calvin Johnson, one of the greatest receivers in my opinion in the history of the league, was on an 0-16 team. That shows you how bad that team actually was, aside from him. And same as Josh Gordon, a very talented player, was just put on a really bad Cleveland Browns team. So you give Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, I mean, we've seen him have good games throughout his career, you give him a target-like combination of Calvin Johnson and Josh Gordon, that offense could do some work. Albert Wilson as well, Devontae Parker, and John Standiford. Now, the tight end position, we do have David Njoku, part of that 17 Cleveland Browns 0-16 team. Behind him, Seth the Valve and Mike Gesicki, the current Dolphins tight end. Now, the offensive line, Joe Thomas, another great veteran player, one of the best left tackles in NFL history on this team. So this team does have talent. Backing him up, Jeff Backus at a 76 overall. Left guard, we do have Joel Bitonio, a current member of the Cleveland Browns. Is he still on the Browns? I think he is. He was on the 0-16 team at an 86 overall. 64, Michael Dieter, backing him up at the center position. We do have J.C. Treader at a 79, or it could be Dominique Raiola at a 79. Right guard, we do have Kevin Zeitler, another Cleveland Brown. Why can't one of the guards got traded to the Giants? I think it was Zeitler. I could be wrong. He's an 87. Backing him up, Steven Peterman. At right tackle, Gonzder Cheerless at a 77 overall. George Mills backing him up. Now on to the combination of these three teams in their defense. Left end position, Dwayne White at a 79 overall. Backing him up, Emmanuel Ogbah, part of that 17 Browns team, 77 overall. The right end position, another extremely talented player, Myles Garrett at an 85 overall. And keep in mind, their overalls are from that season. So obviously in like this year's Madden, Myles Garrett is like, what is he, at 92 overall? I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning. This would be their overall from the year they went 0-16. And same thing with the Dolphins' current roster. It's their current like rating in Madden. So that's why Myles Garrett's not a 92 like he currently is. This is what his rating was during the 2017 season, or at least at the end of that season. Now, Jared DeVries is backing him up. Now, the defensive tackle position, our starters, Larry Ogunjobi, the D tackle for that Browns team. Corey Redding behind him from the Lions, Christian Wilkins from the current Dolphins, and now to the linebacker core, Jerome Baker, the current Miami Dolphins starting left outside linebacker at 76. Middle linebacker, we do have Joe Schobert from that Browns team at a 79. Raekwon McMillan behind him, and Paris Lennon. On the right side, we have Ernie Sims from that Lions team, 74 overall, and Mike Cole behind him. Now onto this team's secondary, cornerback Xavier Howard, Jason McCourty, Brian Kelly, Travis Fisher, and Brian Body Calhoun. Free safety position, we do have Bobby McCain off the current Dolphins at a 76, behind him Derek Kindred. I mean, when a team has so many Dolphin starters as they do, that shows you how bad they possibly could be. Strong safety position, Rashad Jones, the veteran, at an 83 overall. The highest overall on the current Miami Dolphins team does get the start today. And Jabril Peppers, who was the strong safety for the Browns that year. I believe this was his rookie year as well. Pretty sure, I think Myles Garrett, Jabril Peppers were both rookies this year. They were both drafted in the first round of that prior NFL draft. Our kicker is going to be Jason Hanson. I'm guessing he's from the Lions team. At punter, Matt Hack, the current punter for the Detroit Lions. Kick returner is going to be John Standiford, and our punt returner is going to be Mr. John Standiford as well. So, my prediction, I'm going to say this team, just because the division is so bad outside the Patriots, I think this team, although on their own, like as their own individual teams, didn't even get one win, I think this team has a shot to actually make the playoffs. I mean, we've seen teams at this overall go anywhere from 4-12 to 14-2. So it's crazy. I don't know. Madden simulations are insane. After you see that roster, let me know in the comment section below how you think this team does in this simulation. I'm going to go 9-7 with a playoff berth. The talent, as a whole, is pretty solid. The team, I think, should make the playoffs. But in Madden simulations, as we've seen throughout all these experiments, having a really high overall quarterback is normally extremely important. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think in real life with this team would be solid, but with him only being a 75, I'm not sure if he has what it takes to get it done. But the advantage is the fact that the Jets and the Bills are kind of low overall in terms of Madden 20. But here we are. My prediction, 4-12. Was your boy correct? 4-12, what the heck? I mean, 9-7. We didn't, well, maybe we did go 4-12. So, even though it's 3 separate NFL teams combined into one day, they still don't make the playoffs. How did we not make the playoffs when the Patriots, we just beat the Patriots? We went, what? Bro, there's no way. There is legitimately no way we just went 3-12 with this roster. How we almost had the worst record in the entire league. We would have had the worst record in the entire league. The only problem is these two teams are pretty bad on their own because we had to take some of their players in game because they were part of those rosters. Wow, bro. How did an 84 overall team, when there's plenty of teams in the 70s, have legitimately the worst record in the entire league? Who did the bad things for us? Is it just coded in the Madden that the Dolphins are so bad in real life, no matter who they have, they're still going to do bad in simulations? Jesus Christ, dude. What happened to this team? If we can find this, I think they did an update to franchise, but we had the worst offense in the league, and defensively, how did this team have the worst offense, basically, and the worst defense? What actually happened? Mitch Trubisky, this shows you right here how crazy this simulation is. Ow, I just poked my eyeball, I'm bleeding. Oh, I'm just going to pretend I didn't. Now that actually hurt. That's crazy because my freaking dog headbutted my left eyeball earlier. Now I just, thumbed. I put my goddamn thumb in my eyeball, right eyeball, so I'm blind. So, you know what? We're going to keep it rolling because I'm a trooper. Mitch Trubisky wins the MVP. How did that just happen? That's karma from Browns fans. Anyways, he wins the MVP. Jacoby Brissett in 3rd. Any other crazy ones? Not really. Nick Foles in 10th. Now, I got to see individually what the heck happened with this team. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he was awful. Not really, actually. That's not terrible. 22 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,400 yards. Only got sacked 36 times. It's better than the normal Dolphins. My eye is watering, but you know what? I'm going to power through. Running the football. Maybe that's why. Kenyon Drake, 3.3 yards per carry. Only 5 touchdowns on the ground. Kevin Smith with 4. Catching the football, Albert Wilson, 914 yards and 10 touchdowns. Calvin Johnson, what happened here? Only 4 touchdowns, 742 yards. And defensively, Joe Sherbert led the team with 133 tackles. And we had 13 sacks from Myles Garrett and 11.5 from Emmanuel Ogbah. Yet, why were we, I still don't understand why we were so bad. I mean, I want to see really quick, if we beat the Patriots? How did we beat the Patriots if we were this bad? Legitimately, I mean, because I don't even count the Lions in the Browns record because we, once again, had to take players from their team to have the actual roster made. So we really had the worst record in the league with not overall-wise, probably a top 10 team. So we beat the Chargers, we beat the Steelers, we beat the Patriots. So we beat pretty good NFL teams. Yet we went 3-13. We barely lost to the Ravens, so that's a 3-point loss. We had a 3-point loss here, a 17-point loss to the Redskins, a 30-point loss to the Bills. We tied to the Jets. I didn't see that. Lost to the Colts by 10. Lost to the Bills by 2 touchdowns. So apparently we're an awful matchup for the Bills. Lost to the Browns by 3, Eagles by 7, Jets by 4. We lost to the Bengals by 6. So a lot of close losses, but this just makes literally no sense at all. Like this, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's still insane to me. Let's just go ahead and simulate to the Super Bowl and see who ends up winning this year. Ends up being the Saints and the Ravens. And the winner of Super Bowl 54 ends up being the Saints, 27-14. So all in all, from today's video, what we find out is that even though you combine 3 NFL teams, although they haven't won a game, into one, even though it's a talented team, losers pretty much normally are always losers.